This one took a very long time. I feel like I say that in every single one of my videos, but anyways. I think I started this April 16. I think so, April 16. I'll put the notes up. And I ended this May 15. I officially ended like maybe 2 days before it actually came out. Anyways, before I get started, please subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for everybody who has been liking the animation because it's been a lot of people. Also, reference pictures. All the reference pictures, well, kind of all the reference pictures that I've used, gonna be on the screen. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my roommates in the background. I do live with people, unfortunately, but these are the cards that Tom Brady is dealt with for the moment. I'm gonna show you what the set looks like from the outside, which I think is a little bit more interesting. Interesting part about this part of the set, all of this set came from one singular image. I'm pretty sure that image is like one of those like liminal spaces type of thing situation, and I just thought that it was really interesting for Weight Watchers because Weight Watchers, me about to say some bullshit. Weight Watchers is about, you know, your weight. When you have body dysmorphia, you kind of look at yourself in the mirror and it's like everything kind of looks a little bit distorted. Not distorted, but kind of distorted. And this set is also kind of like distorted because this is a very like unconventional looking building. It is very strange looking in my opinion, but I think it looks cool. And also it's something different than just like a regular hallway, regular room. The camera starts here. Monolith is just playing in the background because I needed the transition from Monolith to Weight Watchers. The camera goes from there, from the radio. It pans through the hallway and then we enter this thing. I'm sorry for the blocks. These blocks are supposed to be fonts, but the thing is I made most of this animation on a different laptop. I don't know why the fonts look like that, but this is supposed to be like the font, okay? If you see random squares, it's probably supposed to be a font. Anyways, right, so this is what the office looks like from the top view. Just a very small office. The camera goes in and goes into this scale, and this is just that everyone's trying to get it off faster. Supplement master official should work. All of those words they just spin over here. The way I made them spin is the blocks are supposed to be words. So we have two hierarchies. If you don't know what a hierarchy is, you should pick up a dictionary. But we have two hierarchies, both controlled by these empties. The first empty, this says, I mean, it really looks like blocks. Okay, I'm sorry. This says everyone's trying to get it off faster, is what it's supposed to say. So all of the words are all over here and they're parented to this thing. So as this thing spins, you know, the whole thing spins. And the way I made these, like the text go with like the curve to make it like, you know, follow the curve is with this thing. When you have text, you go on text over here, then you go to properties, you turn on this text on curve. Why is there no text on curve? How is this following a curve? Okay. How the fuck did I do this? Okay, there we go. Why does this not have a text on curve? I'm so confused. Anyways, the way I got the text to follow the curve is basically just select the text that you want, and then you put it as text on curve, and you choose the curve that you want. And that Bezier circle would be this Bezier circle that's over here. For the second numbers, I'm pretty sure this is just the part where it goes, hey, Weight Watchers. Moving on. Supplement master official should work. Supplement master, it made sense for me to put that like on a pill. Like I said, this is supposed to be text. Supplement master is over here, and the way that I got this to move the way that it does, like this, supplement, and then they switch master. It's just the same thing, but this time I used the modifier. So basically what I did, first thing is when you deform text with a curve, it looks kind of weird. Text in Blender is not like, the mesh is kind of horrible. If you had a remesh modifier, it basically makes the bad geometry look better. That's all you need to know. So I added a remesh modifier, and then I added a curve modifier so that it could follow this curve. Both of these, they have their own curves. As the curve is rotating, the text is rotating. A fistful should work. This is pretty simple to animate. You just like, wait, is it pretty simple to animate? It is pretty simple to animate. You have these pills, right? The first thing I did is I put them in this position that you can see right here. A fistful should work. And then I selected all of them and I went over here to object, transform, and randomize transform. I don't want to do it right now. I'll just put it on the screen. Anyways, I put the pills like this first, and then I went over here to object, randomize transform. What this does is it takes the location of all of the objects that you're selecting. As you move this, rotation, whatever, it's gonna move them in different ways so that everything looks like organic and you don't have to like rotate them each one by one. So basically I put this in like this first, I keyframed it, then I went back like 3 frames, I used randomize transform, I moved them out, then I went back again like a few more frames, I moved them out more so that they would do like a fistful should work. I feel like that's understandable. Then it goes over here to soup in the smoothies. Soup in the smoothies. Basically, like all of the text is below here, like below this bowl. Each kind of like word is parented to an empty so that like it go, where's the text? Hello? Oh, it's right here. Okay, for example, soup, the letters SOUP all are connected to one empty, which would be this one. And then that empty obviously just animates up and down as I need to animate up and down. But I also added some extra animation to the letters themselves. I did the same thing with the randomized transform. Basically, all of the letters were like aligned, soup and the smoothies. But then I keyframed them at some point, and then I used the randomized transform to move them so that they would look like they're moving like throughout the soup. Then there's this really nice trick. I added some noise to the Z location so that the words would go up and down like as if they're floating. That's really easy. You can just add a keyframe at whatever frame you want to add it. Doesn't matter the frame. And then you open the graph editor right here. You go to whatever parameter here you want it to affect. In this case, it would be the Z location. So I entered the Z location and I selected the Z location, and then I went to over here to the modifiers, and then I just added a noise modifier with a scale of 100, strength of 0.004, and like whatever. I offsetted like this for every single letter so that no letter would be moving at the same time, and that's how it makes it look just a little bit more organic. It's not very visible on the camera, but like it does make a difference because I know that they're moving, so it makes a difference. And then after soup and the smoothies to combat disaster, the camera pans over here to the nutritional label, which is not visible. Good to know. The nutritional label. Again, I'm really sorry about these like cubes and these squares and the noise in the background. Jesus fucking Christ. This is just supposed to be the nutritional label. Carbs don't burn fast enough for what it's worth. I'm pretty sure this nutritional label is for rice cakes, because I obviously cannot see with the fucking font, but I'm pretty sure this one was for rice cakes, eating disorders, rice cakes, you get the drill. And then the camera swipes really quickly so that it would have a lot of motion blur so that I can transition it with Reddit. And both of the cameras that are on the Reddit file and on this file are moving in the same direction, so it would kind of look smooth. It does not look that smooth. I tried my best, but it did not look that smooth. We're gonna go to Reddit later. I just want to finish this file right now because I want to not bounce around files all the time. But it goes to Reddit, then it comes back to this one. And this one would be... I think I have too much lip balm on. Anyways, needles to needlessly sates the rapture. That's such a smart lyric, by the way. The words are just above the needles because, you know, what the fuck else do you want to see? With this one, I had to make like a little test file so that I could like figure out how many needles I needed. Because I wanted all of the words to be spaced out like properly. Then it pans over here to the sink. These are the same hands that are on my profile picture, and I keep using these hands on literally every animation because why not? Shout out to whoever made this. It was free at the time on CG Trader, and now they're nowhere to be found. So I can gladly wait. I'm pretty sure they're on CG Trader to this day. Let's pretend that I'm the only person who has these hands. On the song she goes, cause even I bite my nails wondering if I should. While she's saying that, there's like a little like beat note or whatever that goes beep beep, and the hands are going like, cause even you know what I mean? Right. And then at the end, this hand just goes like, it like goes like boom boom boom, just to give that a little bit more of like whoa chorus. The camera cuts to another camera which goes back to the scale. Hey Weight Watchers. The camera leaves the scale and it goes to this thing, and now this is supposed to be like a jump rope. Originally I wanted to make this like one of those like measuring tapes that like you put like around your body, but I was too lazy and I said, you know what, let me just have the same idea, but I'm gonna do it on a jumping rope, and I'm gonna use the edges of the jumping rope as if this is supposed to this is supposed to be like a measuring tape, just as a jumping rope. But I feel like that's low-key better because it's like a jumping rope, you know, exercise, but like also like it's giving the original idea. And then Are You Watching Me is written on this prescription paper thing. Then we pan over here to our homegirl. By the way, in between cuts I'm drinking Guinness. Why? What's going on? What's happening? We need to get rid of the Guinness propaganda. I thought this was gonna be such a good beer. By the way, here's like the bottle. I thought it was... Can I show this on YouTube? Can I show this on YouTube? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. This is some bullshit. Number one, it's not even I'm not a beer connoisseur. You know, I'm not a beer expert, but it's not even 500 thingies. It's 44. Are you serious? That's 400 milliliters. And guess how much I paid for this? €3. 3 for this, and it's not even half a liter. It doesn't even taste that good. It just tastes like regular beer. I'm like, I thought there was something special. This is an animation video. Let me shut up. Rain. We go to Rain. We love Rain. We live for her. I don't really do characters unless they're like from Mixamo and I just import them here. But I've been learning how to do character animations, and if you kind of like notice as the animation progresses, like towards the end, the character animation gets better because I learned things about character animation along the way. I feel like this goes from bad to not so bad. She's just over here doing some bullshit. I can't even explain to you what this is, but it's like how normal it is to contort and contract. I really like the contort and contract part. That part was really a pain in the ass to animate. It's actually very simple looking back, but like at the moment I had like a really hard time animating this because I was really not enjoying this at all. Her rig has like these bones that you can like stretch. I mean, the rig can be stretchy, so but there's like these bones that you can twist to make these like interesting curves, and I just put some of the text on top of those as she goes like this and like this. This part was very much like raw dogging, like let me just do it as I go. I don't really have a plan. At first it was really bad, but then it got better. I don't know if this is correct when you say contort. I don't think that's what that means, but contort and contract is correct, right? Contract is correct, right? Still arch my back, and then with the beat it goes tum 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 guasha. She like arches more and more with each beat. I really like this part. This part is one that I really like, but it goes tum 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 tum. You know, I really like that, and especially like the last part where she kind of falls flat on the bed. I feel like that looks really interesting because it's the only part that's like properly animated. This part specifically, I really like this, and then the way she just falls, it's like, I don't know, it feels really pleasing to the eye. But anyways, let's go to Reddit and then the bathroom. Okay, I'm personally hating the fact that you really cannot see the fonts. I mean, y'all know what it looks like already. The camera starts over there. When I do swipe transitions, I like to have copies of the part where the camera is supposed to land spread out, so that before the camera reaches its destination, it's not like fully black. I just like duplicated the background a few times so that it would have something to like look at while it's swiping that way. Honestly, there's nothing to say about this part. I just really wanted to include this in this video because some of you bitches swear that I use AI. And I'm like, hello. The amount of behind the scenes videos I've posted is insane for anybody to be telling me that I'm using AI, like I swear to God. But anyways, whatever. Here's the file. Here's the file. This is just the Reddit part. I mean, I just made it exactly how, like I just tried to match it to what the actual subreddit, Melanie Martinez subreddit, to the Melanie Martinez subreddit. But there's really nothing much to explain here, like genuinely. The words, they just like light up with the material, with like emission, they just light up. The emission is just keyframed, so like as each word pops in or like writes in, the emission goes up and down so that people can focus on where to look at. And then after this, the camera just pans down. For this part where she says, is what I'm reduced to, I reduced the size of the text, even though again it's not very visible here. I mean, it kind of is, but I reduced the size of the text. It would be this, and probably this, I'm thinking. So she says, is what I'm reduced to, and as she's saying that, like the text gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That is it. After Reddit, the bathroom. This is so ass. Anyways, we're here at this bathroom. I had 2 final references, but I recorded like 60 videos. I'm not even kidding. This is the reference that I did not use because I was very excited to use this reference. What happened? I recorded that after going to the gym. I'm like, yeah, oh my God, I'm so it. I'm the best animator in the world. I go to start animating. I'm like, oh, so it's really difficult to do this. It's very difficult to do this because when you think about it, your finger has to be moving and it has to look like your finger is pushing the skin up, which is obviously not what's happening. You're animating each thing separately. So to make this move up and this move with the thing and not have like a gap between, mind you, I'm doing this like all over and it was chaos. The next day I just recorded another reference and that's the one that I end up with. Is this the best animation I've ever made in my whole entire life? No, not really. Actually, let me put an example of an animation. I made this on Maya. Whatever this is, I don't know what this is gonna be, but I made this in Maya, so I can animate characters now. So watch out. This animation is not great. I decided to keep it as a stop motion because I just was not liking how it looked like normally. How I did that is I basically animated everything normally, and then I added keyframes to every single frame. There's better ways to do this, but I added keyframes to every single frame where she was animated, and then I went and I deleted every other frame so that it would look like stop motion. But yeah, this is like basically how it ended up looking. It looks fine. It looks fine, especially when you consider that it's supposed to be a stop motion animation. The thing is, it was not supposed to be one. It just ended up being one. The camera here, it goes from the ceiling. So this one is the same thing like I said before with the Reddit. The camera comes down here, pans behind her neck, and then it goes over here to these 2 sticky notes. Nothing crazy is happening here, just lyrics. And then these kind of rotate a little bit and then they open up. They open up and then there is this man, which is my profile picture. There is this man behind here. how did I do that? Let me explain. Calm down. Everybody calm down. This thing that's here below, this thing, the alpha is 0. It's fully transparent. And then if you go over here on film and you set this to transparent, if your camera is looking at this, if you try to render this, it would be just a fully black image. But if you were to take this fully black image and then take another image and put it below the fully black image, the image that's down here would show, because this is transparent, because the alpha channel is being used. This has an alpha of 0. When these two shut, the alpha of this goes down to 0, so that when they open back up, this is transparent and I can just layer the other animation below that and it's gonna look perfect without me even having to do anything. So that's how I made that transition happen. That is it for this one, and then we go back into the office. If you don't know, this is the guy that is in my profile picture. So basically this is me. This is a character made from Blender, okay? I wonder if one day they're actually gonna be like, yeah, you have to take that profile picture down. I genuinely don't think that's gonna be the case. Anyways, I just removed this hair because that's really heavy. The office begins like a few frames before it should, so that when the thing opens, he's right there, right? And then here he just says, a surgeon who knows me. I'm gonna put the reference pictures for the lip sync that I used. It's very useful to have like a bunch of pictures of lip sync so that you can use them. He just says, a surgeon who knows me. Tonguing down anesthesia while he cuts me. The tongue stretches down to her temple. I don't know, to her face. Some people were in the comments saying, why is he licking her? I'm like, he's not licking anybody. Girl, what are you talking about? Why would I do that? The tongue never reaches the face. Also, this is not supposed to be anything sexual. Before anybody says that, look, as you can see, this tongue is not touching anybody. But anyways, and then I just made the tongue like kind of like vibrate like this with the same technique that I used for the noodles, if you remember. And that was actually supposed to kind of like mimic the saw. This is my testimony. He's not licking her. The camera goes from over there and it goes down to these, supposed to be like an implant. And then the words are over here following this curve. And then I wanted to, as each word is building in, I wanted to have like, I wanted it to look very like puffy or like inflated, because like, well, implants are like kind of like jiggly. So I keyframed the bevel. Each word has like a build modifier, right? For example, this one starts at 2584. So as it's building in, the bevel over here is going up and is going back down. I did that for every single word. I mean, every single like syllable. From here, it goes to the big corridor thing, which was supposed to be a gym, but the camera just pans up really quickly and it transitions into the gym. Now, what do I mean by this? The original idea was for this to be kind of like a gym situation, and the camera was supposed to be panning over like a tub of like spa water at some point. I just decided not to do that because I was really lazy. This was the point of the animation where I was like, fuck, I really want to get this over with. So I made the set in one afternoon, not even like more than a day. I made the set in one afternoon. It's just this very big corridor hallway thingy. I don't even know how to explain this to you, but it just has a bunch of treadmills and it has like a bunch of mixable characters just running. This star over here and the set overall is kind of inspired by like the nurse's office, like the big ass hospital or whatever the fuck that was. These all move in different directions with empties. Basically every other platform is parented to one empty that's here in the middle. Like if I move this, that whole thing is gonna move, right? And then that empty is rotating in one direction, and then the next empty is rotating in another direction, and then like that all the way until the end. Why? Because I thought it looks cute. And then there is a big sunlight over here that is parented to this empty, I think so, and it's just like rotating around. So everything is rotating at the same time. That was it for this one. I really needed something circular to be here so that I could transition to the living room, because I knew I wanted a plate, because this is circular. So when you like fade this out and you fade the living room shot in that has a plate in the center, it kind of looks natural-ish. From here we go to the living room. I'm so tired. The living room. That shot fades out, this one fades in with the plate. That's why I really needed something to be circular. These little pastries are from Ambient CG. That's a very good website if you're into 3D stuff. Ambient CG, Polyhaven, CG Trader, Sketchfab. Sponsor me. That's my final goal. Sponsor me. Any of y'all. For this part, the camera is just slowly like panning in, and then the camera pans down over here to this dumbbell, and the words are just there, and these words are getting smaller and smaller as the dumbbell goes, because I think it looks cute and interesting. interesting. Then it pans into the body mass index. The body mass index is just like words are being replaced. There's really nothing interesting going on in here, honestly. This sculpture is so beautiful. I got this from Sketchfab. Whoever made this, thank you so much, because I feel like it also works so well with like the Weight Watchers thing, because this figure is like so like thin and skinny, and like it's like carrying like a bunch of like stuff. I feel like that looks really nice. Here with the being cute on the TV, I just used the alpha channel to animate them in. So as each word is being said, the alpha channel is going up and down. If you look over here, the alpha channel goes up so that you can see the on, and it goes back down. And then the calendar swipes in. Before I could blink, I became nearly 30. So I just circled the 30 with like a little Bezier curve using the start and end mapping. So you can just animate that using this thing. You just draw a curve and then you just use this to animate it. This calendar swipes to the right, but this time I did not use the trick that I used before with the alpha stuff, because I would have to change the alpha of everything that's behind here, and it's like I don't want to do that. So I just let it move normally, and then this is obviously still visible, but in DaVinci Resolve I use the mask. It's very easy to do. Like this is a very straight edge, so I can just use like a rectangle mask and I can like push it over here, and below would be an empty alpha channel so that the Instagram like bathroom animation would be right there. Anyways, Instagram bathroom moment situation thing animation. Oh my god, I just want this video to be over. I'm so tired. It released me. Instagram. This is the exact same bathroom that you saw before, just from a different angle. And then she's not even moving, she's just posing like as if she's taking like a selfie, like a bathroom selfie. And then this part of Instagram, I just took a screenshot from like Instagram like desktop, and I just made it in Blender. Literally nothing going on here. The lyrics, they just build in with the build modifier, and then these are glowing with like an emission, like animated emission. Like seriously, there's nothing to explain here, y'all. I'm so tired. Genuinely, there's nothing to explain. I'm tired. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. Enough. Weight Watchers. That was Weight Watchers. This took me like a month to animate. It was fun at times. It was really annoying at others. I'm happy all of you guys like it. I don't really know what the hell to say right now. So I will see you guys at a certain point in time. I will see y'all. And yeah, that's it.